Hey guys, welcome to City States of Klovisa, the Beef Swellington Brigade, as it is.
Hello.
How are we all feeling today?
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Orion, how about you?
20 out of 20.
Wow, that's the same percentage. What
Yeah.
about you, Gibby?
Yeah.
I'm feeling 20 out of 21.
Oh, so, you know.
Dang.
Not
Okay.
optimal, but pretty
That's
high
like-
up there.
What?
A weird percentage.
Yeah, very weird.
Actually,
One away from
no,
being
I
able
would
to drink.
I'd be at 20 out of 22, actually.
Oh, okay. What about
in this
you,
current
Eric?
year.
You
Fuck
want to know a
off.
fun factoid about my life?
Yeah, let's hear it.
I know one of like the 3 manufacturers in the U.S. that produce doll hair.
Doll
Whoa.
hair?
Doll hair.
Yep.
Like Barbie?
Yeah.
Wait, you
Why?
know, like, the manufacturer? Like, the guy himself?
Yeah. So apparently, there's only like 3 people that do this in the United States, and I know one of them.
Well,
And
What the
he's
fuck?
ridiculously wealthy.
yeah, I think
Is
the
he
other
the
100 of them
CEO?
probably do it in China, you know?
Does he want to play D&D? Nah.
I mean,
I'm
On Thursday
still
nights.
looking for a 5th for your group, Eric.
he's like a 50-year-old straight man who
So?
likes cars
Okay,
and shit.
and?
Oh, okay.
Oh, he's like a horse girl, but for guys.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
The car guy.
Gotcha.
One of the
Gotta-
first things I ever heard him say was like, "I just want a girl that like I can fucking buy a Prius." That was my introduction to him.
What?
That's pretty base.
Not a Prius, a sports car. I forgot what he said. A
Okay.
Camaro or some shit.
Why would you buy a Prius? Bro.
that was the most important part. was
Yeah,
being able
no,
to buy
I was
that
more
car.
impressed with the Prius because, like, he's getting her a hybrid. He cares about the environment, and he's all about the
Oh,
dick
God,
game.
no.
Like, what the fuck? This guy is Pog. Okay, guys, it was great catching up, but now it's time to do our weekly recap. Who owes it today?
Three, two, one, nose goes.
All right, I got it.
Do you want a music setting dressing for you?
I mean, I won't say no.
What do you want?
Like,
What's
give me one of your fancy violins, because I always like the fancy
Ooh,
violins.
fancy violin. Okay. Hang on, that's my fiddle.
I mean,
And then a band of
Hey.
demons joined in. It
Violin.
sounded something like this.
You want the
You know what
corn
fiddle
cob?
is?
yeah.
Why did I get South Park vibes?
There you go. This is South Park.
Yeah.
Alright, do the recap.
Let's see. What did we do last week? I say as I stall trying to remember what the fuck we did last week. We finished up the voidscape of the flower voidscape.
Okay.
I don't think we learned anything else of super import in the voidscape last time. I think that
Oh,
was all the
shit.
time before.
Rip.
We crowned a king.
Yeah, we didn't crown a king, but
I mean,
the tyrant was
True.
crowned king of the Ulathians.
Yeah.
Arvo died, which is sad for everybody.
Arvo died, yeah.
Arvo died. Tyrant's the king. Yugu's a dick unintentionally. Going in reverse order here. We solved a puzzle to get out of the hellscape that was
You
just
leveled
like-
up!
Oh
Wait.
yeah, we leveled up!
There you go! Man,
I was
we're
just gonna
super-
save it as a surprise so that everybody could see the new spells.
Oh, Gibby, thank you for the fucking 1 year subscription, but only
Wow.
a 7th-month streak. What happened to those? No, okay.
Wow.
Hey, you can
Wow.
blame me for using Twitch Prime on someone else by accident instead of just buying a sub for them. And then I forgot.
True. You're beautiful.
man.
I love you. And I'm gonna take it from here, guys. It is the 28th. 6 hours later, after Yugu got his crushing rejection from Irithyll, who tried to return the Ulathane instrument to her. She took it. You were pulled away by Nav, the more socially competent person, despite you being a performer. Kind of a performer, not really a performer now that we think about it. You're pretty bad at performing, Yugu.
I know how instruments work. That's about it.
Yeah. You're like that guy who knows Wonderwall at the local college. And everyone's like, yeah, he's so good. And then someone puts you in front of you, just a music sheet, and you're like, I don't know how to read. What? Cause maybe. Fuck you, Nick. Yeah, Arvo's dead. The Tyrant is crowned, but not coronated. Which is two different things that he's going to have to kind of deal with. But we're not going to worry about him. We're going to worry about you guys. As you guys take a month off. Quite literally. John is forcing you all to go into downtime. Because he has some things that need to be addressed. Specifically, what's going to happen in September. Also, even though, like, it wasn't too draining physically, it's just an emotional and logistical nightmare of what you guys have done as a expected consequence of your quest completing. I mean, Arvo's dead. He was a ally and the king of all of the Ulathane allies you have. He's just dead now, so there's going to be some restructuring. There needs to be many talks about what is going to come next on their end, as well as what the Tyrant is going to do. And honestly, this was what your team set out to do, and it only took about 12 people, some of who died, some of who has betrayed your party, and others who have, I don't want to say gone AWOL, but turned into gelatin, for the sake of this quest.
Wait, who is that?
Gunther?
Dearmond.
Here.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
No.
Dearmond and... not Bolby, Bapa.
Vapor.
Yeah, Vapor got turned into jelly.
See, I can never remember both of those names, but when I say one, I'll always get the other.
I remember
It's like-
I remember
Good
Vapor because
alliteration.
he was there when Xenoth was still a thing.
Yeah, fuck. Let's all be glad Xenoth is gone.
One of the
Truly
original Xenoth
dead.
worshippers.
So, we have some things that are going to go down during this month, and we're going to kind of retroactively interact with them. Because I want to give you all a couple things to do and play with, but also nothing as you justify your own levels here, by the way. You'll need to do that too, I guess. But also something that you can work with other than shooting in the dark. So, the first things first. Okay, so on the 6th of September, the Tyrant's first book-burning objective is started. Apparently, somebody has written and mass-produced several novels of the Tyrant's personal life that are fanfiction. It's literally called The Tyrant of Trash. It is like a hit piece to make the Tyrant look so fucking stupid and incompetent and monstrous that it will only damage his reputation. No one knows who published it. No one knows where they came from. But many people, well, within the Tyrant's court have some suspicions. And they are fucking everywhere. They're literally just in all the bookstores in pallets. And the guys didn't order them. The bookstore owners are like collectors, and they're like, what the fuck am I gonna do with 200,000 copies of this book? I guess I'll sell them. And they're just selling them on the cheap. It's like one Tolsbuck. Maybe even half a Tolsbuck if they break them down into lower denominations.
Buy one, get one free.
Yeah. So that's the first thing. And this is gonna be like a non-stop problem. Probably for the rest, until winter at least. Probably after winter, because then they're just gonna freeze outside.
Use them for firewood when they're in the freezing cold.
Exactly. Make bricks out of them. Fucking houses made out of these fucking fan fictions. The political team has come and gone and done a bunch of bullshit. You don't really care about that. But on the 13th is the day of more or less infamy, and also where Cantalar truly exploded. And it's not a national holiday in the Confederation, but there is significance to it. On September the 13th, 50,000 people were conflagrated in a massive natural gas explosion, and the city erupted into a civil war. Many refugees, many of them in Tulsa now, truly feel this day. And it is a grisly reminder of how quickly everyone can lose their homes and lives, and that war can just sort of appear in the blink of an eye. So that's the 13th. There's something weird going on with the sun. But no one really knows, like, how to interact with that, because it's the sun. There's just, like, a tiny black dot above, like, Tolst. And only, like, no one really looks up, right, normally. But there's just this tiny dot, and once it's pointed out to people, like, everyone's now kind of staring at the sun like idiots, and, like, not realizing what they're doing to their eyes.
It's fine. Tyron will heal them, as he always does.
He does, yeah, but it's some people abuse that as well, just constantly. They're just like, yeah, well, I'll always rely on my tyrant. And the final thing, kind of a private matter, is the tyrant has reached out to the two people who died during his absence, that he was keeping alive through external measures, and he meets with their family and gives his sincerest apologies, and it's kind of on just like this grief train almost of just like, Arvo died, he's being politically, and like his reputation is taking a massive hit, and also Cantalar's holiday for grieving their city blowing up. And now he's, like, also dealing with the actual personal matters that he's dealing with. So he's getting hit nonstop. And while that's all going on in the backdrop, what are you guys doing? Who wants to go first and justify their level up?
I can do it.
Let's hear it.
So Nav got, kind of, with the armor being taken off, got like a new lease on life. And kind of immediately had to shelf the new lease because we had to go deal with the, completing like an ancient spell. So this is Nav's first time. Thank you for the mood music. This is Nav's first time, like getting to re-experience life, because now he's like, he can eat again and he can like go out and like feel anything.
Mm-hmm.
So he's really going to be just like walking around the city for a very good chunk of time, like doing the the whole cliche, like, new lease on life, just feeling the wind and taking it all in.
Oh, are you
all
evil
that.
Tobey Maguire right now from Spider-Man 3?
Yeah, I haven't.
Oh my god, you're so
Yeah.
Wait,
young.
don't say you haven't seen it. That's a lie,
I don't
right?
think. I've seen like a scene maybe when I was like 5.
He literally just starts dancing through the streets, like causing.
Okay, maybe
They're
not.
like
ruckus.
Joker dancing down the stairs.
Maybe not that far, but
He's like doing that weird.
To the music, which is definitely in his head.
Playing
um,
Nav Choir.
yeah, and he's going to like take a he's gonna like find community centers, right? And he's just gonna like take adult life classes, like pottery class. There's a pottery class. Hey, let's try
okay.
that. Volunteer at the library. Like let's start learning a language for. Let's just take like a language class. Is that even a thing? I should probably ask that beforehand, or is everything just common?
Most things are universal Confederation common. There are dialects, and I don't want to call them like true languages, because everyone kind of speaks with the same foundation. So you'll have like, imagine
maybe
like a
like
French guy
cultural-
speaking English, and you'll be like, okay, cool,
Yeah.
this is like a stereotype, but also I'm in it. And then there are like the ancient ones, which only like nerds study
Yeah,
for like their life.
academics. Maybe just like a cultural appreciation type of deal going on then. Might be a little more fitting. And I lost my train of thought. Where was
You're
I?
trying to hit level 9 now.
You experience the world.
I experienced what? Do you want me to actually like say what I got and how it relates?
Yeah,
I
if
can
you
do
want,
that.
sure.
Okay. I'm just gonna say learning taking classes while trying to focus on the tasks that he's trying to like learn has helped him concentrate, and as such I now have Eldritch Mind, which gives me advantage on
Oh.
Constitution saving throws when I'm concentrating on a spell.
There you
Whoa.
go. That's pretty cool.
And on a broader note, he's also, I think, when was it, the 14th or the 13th, when the national tragedy was?
Yes.
Not national, the Cantalar tragedy.
It's like it's kind of like their 9/11 in a weird way.
Yeah. I think he's going to try and find. I mean, I assume there are like coordinators who are trying to get the refugees like settled, and they still have to have food, and they still have to have shelter.
It's
and...
been a while since
Mhm.
there has been refugees. The last people to come into Tulst were from Destry, and that was months ago. Everyone's kind of settled down already. People people are people. They adapt no matter where they are. And everyone has kind of found a niche within Tulst to either work or to just live in.
Okay. I was gonna volunteer for them, or like volunteer if there were still refugees getting situated. Yeah, if that's the case, maybe just is there any type of like, I don't know how to say this, like public mourning type of situation going on with any of the Cantalarians?
Kind of.
Or is it
It's... How do I say this? So, the city is like super urban, because it's just one of those modern city-states. And occasionally, on some street corners, there will be little pulpits or signs, and just people kind of doing these strange little vigils of posting up pictures they lost, of people they lost, I suppose. Not the pictures they lost. As well as just speakers who are just talking about their experience and their trauma and getting it out there so that other people can realize that they're not alone in these thoughts.
Okay. Then he's going to just buy like he's gonna buy just like candy, and then just like pastries or maybe just fresh bread or something like adults would enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to kind of not stick with any like singular vigil or grouping as it was, but he's just gonna wander around and kind of not console, but like be there with the people who are mourning, you know, hand the candy out to any kids who are there.
Yeah.
You know, the adult treats to any of the adults who are there, and just be not conciliatory, but
It's a show of kindness, which wasn't
yes.
expected. And honestly, coming from Nav, the soldier, the fuckboy, as he self-described himself, is quite a change. And I feel like I should ask you, Eric, but also you, Nav, in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Is this Nav's attempt at being a good person? And this is just what he thinks how good people act? Or is this like a genuine feeling of, I need to help these people in some way?
A mix of both. You know, when you described the armor to me, you said it really just kind of like cauterized my sense of fear.
Yeah.
But my headcanon is either it did more than that, or all your emotions exist within each other. You can't take one away without it affecting everything else.
Mm-hmm.
So I think like fear might have been the most surface level thing that was affected, but I think his entire emotional state while he was in that armor was just completely fucked by the armor itself, not even taking into consideration like no tactile sensation, no eating, no drinking, no sleeping,
Yeah.
none of the things that make us a person or human.
It stole your humanity from you for the better part of 4 months.
And I think, you know, it's one of those things you take for granted, and then he had it taken away. And he's literally got a second chance. And you know, that's the type of thing that kind of makes you realize, like, what were you doing beforehand? And I think Nav feels like he wasted just maybe his life, but maybe not like necessarily, like, you know what I mean? It's a very odd introspection.
Yeah.
There is just a feeling of waste, and he wants to not waste anymore. But I don't think he really knows how. You know, he was what he was before, and then he wasn't human for the most part. Now he's trying to figure things out, and I think this is the first step of just
Change
figuring it
is
out.
always small increments over a long period of time. And taking the first step never goes unnoticed. Congratulations on hitting level 9. You are the first character in this campaign to do so. And also, I think you caught up with Piddle's Wet Spot. or just shy. So we're getting close, boys. Who's ready to go next?
I think I am.
Cool. By the way, I want to save Gibby for last. So you're
I was
up
just about to
next.
say, I wanted to go last anyway.
Let's hear it.
Mirth is going to witness Nav and his transformation. Kind of half-heartedly at first, and then like realize, oh, this is something genuine, and maybe that is some sort of training. And totally misconstrue the meaning behind what he's going through. And understand it as training one's mind. And so he's going to go out there and do exactly what Nav did in terms of talking to people. Figure out what they're doing, their past, their life, what their life has been the last year in Tulst, especially after the Cantelar disaster. And then halfway through, he's going to realize that it's boring as hell. Kind of get to a point of like, yeah, sure. He's not in it for. It's very a selfish like thing of what he's trying to do of like get stronger by using other people's pain, and he's going to realize that it's not going to be effective for him. He's going to move on. The way he moves on is he's going to try to find willing people that want to train their magic on him, and he's going to subject him to magic after magic to train his resistant to it. He's going to put himself through a grueling process of anyone who wants to try to control him, try to like manipulate him, and go through the ringer of being like the training dummy for all these spells that.
What I'm hearing is you want to take the old Thatch approach and just have Ozark beat the shit out of you. Is that what I'm hearing?
Basically. Yeah,
what
basically.
is this building towards? Is this resilience?
Well, the understanding of people, of the world around you, the intuition, and the resistance of mind-altering effects of willpower. Training willpower and training one's self and one's mind is definition of what he's trying to accomplish. And going through the process of trying to find what the world around him didn't work out, so he's just going straight to like train himself like he always does. He goes into what is familiar to him. What's familiar to him is putting himself through grueling training and trying to just put a step up through that process.
What is this building towards, if you don't mind me asking? Is this like
increase of wisdom? ASI wisdom.
Yeah, totally. You hit on a key that maybe was accidental, but what the fuck is happening in my phone? My phone has been going off nonstop.
I don't know how I hit on that key,
Give me
but
1 second,
definitely.
guys. I'm so sorry. Hey guys, sorry about that. So my friends know I stream, and the guy, one of them in the Discord, called me just now and asked what I was doing after knowing my schedule for months now. We have this system in our friend group of no matter if you, when or why you call, we are obligated to pick up because it could be an emergency, which happened with one of our friends when we just sort of ignored him when he got like his car rear-ended and just stranded on the side of the road and no one picked him up. So now we do this on principle. So I thought it was an emergency. It was not. I got fucking debated. Okay. Orion, you picked up on a key, which I don't know if what you were doing is intentional or not. You're asking for people to beat you up with spells and subject you to mental tortures for the most part, and I want you to give me a insight check as you do this day by day.
Oh, not great.
Not
13.
great. I still think it'll give you the first hint rather than have me display it out. So, you're walking through the halls one day when Ozark shows up, beats you down. You're like, oh! And you get your health points back, and you get up, and Ozark's like, was it as good for you as it was for me? And you have that weird, like, awkward talk. And then Ozark fucks off.
Yeah, sure.
You're just, like, walking down the hall. And you happen to pass your boy, Tyrant. He's always in meetings, walking, talking, doing the West Wing shtick. And for the briefest of seconds, as you just, like, hear the voice of, like, yeah, we should really get on that, it's super important, and then, he's gone. It's just a flicker. But you felt, for, like, that moment, just a tinge of something, like, on the back of you're a bugbear, so I guess your furry neck. You, like, turn around, and then, like, the one guy he was talking to just, like, splits down a fork in the hallway and just starts running to go do whatever it is he's supposed to be. I don't know if you wish to interact with that, but that's what a 13 will get you.
Yeah, feeling a tinge of like, oh. Mirth is going to investigate that because his training is done for the day. Like, what else is he going to do? And he's going to try to follow the tyrant and, like, catch up to him.
Start running.
Yeah.
You soon catch up to him. He's, one guy leaves him, another person appears, the bodyguard. You know the deal with the bodyguard by now. I don't need to repeat her orbiter status. Are you following stealthily, or are you just, like, chasing after, and you're gonna interrupt, kind of, I don't want to say autistically, but, you know not to bother your boss when he's talking.
Yeah, it's like something important, or is it just like walking and talking about business?
It's always important when it's the tyrant, Mirth. When does anyone ever want to waste this God King's time? Not that he's a god, of course, but
then I won't do stealthily, but I'm going to follow him, like 10 feet behind. Not like my presence is there, but I'm going to be like trying to find out what this tinge I felt, and just following him might be the clue to get that.
Yeah. 10 feet is rather close, especially in, like, kind of packed hallways where people are already kind of pressing against one another. And you notice there's kind of, like, a queue, as strange as this is to sound, of people, like, following at a distance that's respectful, and then, like, when one person is, like, done talking, like, the next one sort of, like, leapfrogs up. And always that fucking bodyguard is there to keep mostly everyone in check and either in line or just like is clearly aware of people's presences. Otherwise, she'd be a terrible bodyguard.
Yeah.
So when you kind of not immediately picking up on this and like joining a conga line more or less before realizing what's going on, you will soon kind of find yourself at the back of the tyrant, who will, you know, heading towards his throne room, look at you. You're like, hey, Mirth, what's going on?
Yeah, I've kind of felt something, and it
Oh,
seemed
yeah?
to be coming from you. Like,
Oh.
you alright?
Am I alright? Yeah, I'm great. I mean, you know, everything's falling apart around me and everyone's at war with one another, but, you know, can't complain.
But you can.
Well, yeah, I can, but I'm not.
Why not?
Mirth, maybe now's not the time for this?
Okay. And I'll kind of step back and join the queue.
Yeah, he gives you, like, the weird, like, what's really going on kind of look. Takes it kind of as a cry for attention before, you know, continuing on until at last he gets to the throne room where business can truly be conducted and even the random citizen on the street can come complain about something. An old grandma shows up, clearly some kind of rich, noble-ish lady, at least business owner, and is just complaining about her destrian tenants who are saying, they dug out my garden and are replacing them with fucking beets. I don't know what's going on, but my radish... And, you know, she gets her
My
5 minutes in.
cabbages.
Yeah.
Bitches.
Murph, give me a perception check as you are watching this. And just kind of studying your boss. Okay, well...
Not doing great.
It's just business as usual, Mirth. It's kind of boring. You don't know what that, like, sense was. It was only for a minute. Maybe it was Ozark's, like, residual magic. I mean, Tyrant's a very magical guy. Maybe just, like, you brushed up against his, like, hit point barrier without even realizing just how massive it is. It could have been any number of things. But that just second... Maybe even just a quarter of a second of just, like, suspicion lingers. Before, you know, Ozark comes to charm you once more to train. Ha! You thought training was done, bitch?
Yeah,
and...
so, while in line, I'll be charmed.
Yes, and we kind of walk off with Mirth doing the Dougie and making a fool of himself at Ozark's puppeteering. But he will come out stronger from this, mentally.
Is it strange to go back when I finish charm?
Yeah, it's so
And go in
fucking
line?
odd. It's so strange.
To go back in line and actually want to talk to my boss?
Yeah, you have private channels for that. You're a task force member. Even as a reservist, anyone could, you know, after hours. But when he's on the throne, it is purely for non-military affairs. Like he's, you know, overseeing his city and seeing where he can help. And you showing up there is a massive, like, what is going on here? This is, like, massive attention-seeking behavior.
Okay, then. I will wait till... And I'll try to, like, spend my time to wait to get an audience with him after hours.
Yeah. That opportunity will come a couple of days later. But you will indeed get it. He's a busy guy. You know how it is. And you have your 5 to 10 minutes of his entire attention. He's like, so, Mirth, what's going on? You've been acting a little bit weird, I hear, at your, what? Spell resistance training? I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, definitely. I've been trying to train myself to be more resistant to magic.
Okay.
And Ozark has been willing and extremely grateful to have someone subject himself to it.
Mm.
I didn't know his enthusiasm was that hard until I asked him.
Yeah, he's kind of a, wizard. A lich wizard.
Yeah.
So, what you want to talk about?
So I have something bugging in my mind, and it just won't get out of my mind.
Mm.
That maybe you aren't doing as well as you look like you're doing,
Oh,
and
that's very sweet of you.
I kind of want to get to the bottom of it because it's something to do. To be honest.
Okay, my life's not entertainment. If you want to read the fucking fan fiction, go right ahead. But
Of course,
Like-
but
what do you mean,
You're-
of course?
you're the tyrant. But everything's going along, and you're still you, and you're still normal. So of course you're going to be feeling some of this.
Mirth, he puts a hand on your arm, and immediately you feel, you're being watched by your boss, and he's clearly doing the I am a individual who must project strength at all times of the day. And it is a pitiable almost look of like you're extending a hand of friendship, but he will never be able to accept it. And he tells you, Mirth, thank you for your concern. I really do appreciate it. But I'm fine. We're gonna get through it. This isn't even the worst yet. Thank you, Mirth. Do you need help with anything?
Well, I still have you for 2 minutes, so yeah, if you have a magic to check me too, go right ahead. Maybe you'll get some tension out of you.
Mirth, I will never harm anyone who follows me. And then he shakes your hand and says if you ever need 90 seconds to have a private communication, he will make time for you. And there, as he's shaking your hand, comes again that weird little tingle. And as you feel that, that weight on your shoulders kind of just eases up a little bit. Almost as if you're stressing out your back muscles and then just slowly release naturally. It's a very minor but relaxing feeling.
You're taking it all in.
I'm sorry?
You're taking everything in, aren't you? All the stressors, all the weight on people's shoulders. Literally, you're taking it in, aren't you?
He taps you once on the shoulder again. And then, without saying anything, which is more or less confirmation, he leaves.
Earth does not know how to feel about that. And he's going to contemplate it in his room for a good couple days before Ozark finds him again.
Yeah, Spider Ozark sneaks into your dorm. I've been watching you sleep. No. I think we're gonna cut there for Mirth before, we have a month to do stuff if something pressing comes up, but I think that's a good ending there. So Yugu, we go to you. Goo.
Haha.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't really have much planned for daytime stuff. I do want to fill out my ritual book, which for like the level up is kind of not a lot of time, but when we have more downtime,
You have a
I do have
month of
some-
downtime, Chief. You've got plenty of
Alright.
time.
Well, I want to fill my spell book with some good old-fashioned useful rituals, like the water breathing, alarm, find familiar, and detect magic rituals.
Okay, can you just clink Ritual Caster for me real quick?
Yes,
I need to see if I need to subject you to any wizard checks. Which I probably will no matter what. I hate giving things for free. I love the chance of failure. These books
do
are blah
not.
blah blah. When you choose this feat, blah 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 blah. The spells you choose must have the ritual tag. The class you choose also determines. Okay, we don't care. If you come across a spell in written form, such as a magical spell scroll or a wizard spell book, there's plenty of those, you might be able to add it to your ritual book. The spell must be on the spell list for the class you chose. The spell levels can be no higher than half your level, rounded up, which is 4 now, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it must
actually,
have
it would
the-
be 5, I think, because I'm 9, so 4.5 is 5,
You're 9
right?
too? Oh, okay. I thought you were still
Yes.
8. Well then. Fuck. Yeah. It takes 2 hours per level. That we don't care about. Because it's always 1d, 2 days per level.
Mhm.
Costs 50 GP, kind of inconsequential. If it's for spell research, it's a write-off. Like, the literal city will pay for that. Yeah. Okay. I don't think I'm going to subject you to any wizard learning roles here. You're more or less just stealing other people's work and are going
Yeah.
to mimic it.
I find their book, I open my book, like, oh yes, this is great, thank
Yeah.
you.
You're not actually learning the spell, you're just quite literally thieving it from people. It's, well, that's interesting, I suppose, and on its own, right?
I don't learn anything. I
You're
just do
fucking.
it.
You're a college student plagiarizing to
You
pass
are a
an exam.
plagiarist. The
Please give me your
ultimate...
notes. You took this class before, right?
Aren't plagiarists like the ultimate anti-artist, Yugo? Can you morally justify this for me real quick?
I don't think this is an art. It is just notes.
Oh,
really.
true.
I'm stealing notes, which I guess you can consider plagiarizing.
Oh,
But in my mind, it's just, oh yeah, silly wizard people, they do magic in this weird off way. I don't know why they would study to learn magic. That's kind of foolish of them. Oh, I can copy your notes and do the magic you do? Of course, yeah, come on.
okay.
It's the coward's thing to do.
Why learn when I can just copy?
True. Yeah, what spells do you want to get? You'll probably have plenty of time, but this will eat up most of your
Yeah.
downtime.
So, water breathing, which is a 3rd level.
So, 3d2 days, if you want to do this mechanically,
I'll do
just to keep track. If it is sub 30 days that you're learning, then we don't need to roll.
Yeah, it will be sub 30. It's
Okay,
water
then-
breathing, alarm, find familiar, and detect magic.
Find Familiar is a banned spell. You may not have it.
Then just detect magic and alarm. So 1 3rd level and 2 1st level spells.
Okay, yeah, you get those.
Okay.
How dare
but-
you try to sneak in Find Familiar first? Oh,
We need a drone. I need to send a bird in to hit
No,
a
you
window and
don't.
die.
you literally create dancing swords. You're fine, Chief.
Oh, come on.
John, I would like to animate the fucking cupboard and send it 100 feet. If it's attacked, I know there's an enemy.
It's dangerous. Oh, gee golly.
Oh, you
My
can do
magic Red
that.
Bull died.
Why find familiar when you can build familiar? Build your own bear workshop.
I could build a whole bear.
You can nearly
Uh,
animate stuffed animals.
It would be my familiar.
Imagine the money you could make with animating stuffed animals for children. And then
True,
just charging
seriously.
for it.
That's
Then
not a
charging
bad
the parents
idea.
for that.
That's pretty based and capitalist pilled. But Yugu, I want to know, outside of all of his bullshit of stealing people's magic, how do you hit level 9? What is the secret to your sauce, as it were?
I wanted to go where there is, I guess, soldiers, the reservist, anywhere I could find a place in the evening to play songs of rest for people. You know,
Huh?
whenever you're exhausted from a day's work, maybe even, what would you call them? Like, not townhouses, where like workers would go at the end of the day and relax. I want to find places where people are
okay.
trying to
Like
recover.
pavilions?
Like halls.
Yeah, a pavilion is a great one. And play them a song of rest. So while they're recovering, they'll have some good ambient music. I feel like
Alright.
Yugu has kind of dropped the ball, especially on that last spell, and has done a lot of not helping people. And obviously, he's not so good with words. So if I could just shut up, be quiet, go around to places that are silent and just play some nice music, it would
Yeah.
at least kind of balance out a little bit of my fucking up.
Give some ambiance to the mood around you.
I mean, sitting in silence is not exactly great for you, especially if you're trying to recover mentally and physically. I think a little bit of extra music to go around
Yeah,
will help.
you go around lightening up the mood. It's what you do.
Well,
What is this building towards, if you don't mind me asking?
that is for my Song of Rest, going from a D6 to a
Ooh.
D8.
Very nice.
I also wanted to spend some time with Mirth.
Totally.
I know that monks, and I think he's the only monk I can think of off the top of my head, they have a weird way of controlling their body, and especially other people's bodies, and slowing them down or injuring them in weird ways. I want to learn the Hold Person spell, and I think talking with him about how he injures other people, like where the focal point of the body is. Maybe casting Hold Monster on him a couple times if he wants me to, for his own training, to pick up that ability.
Okay. I suppose that can easily be done. Mirth is literally offering anyone who wants to take a shot at him to do it. So yeah. I don't know if you two want a scene of doing that, but
I cast a spell on you.
okay, boom. He resists it.
Oh, you
Cast it again.
you had to do it harder. You had to tense up the muscles and get like the meridians.
Yeah.
They're
The
kind of
what?
fake, but they're pretty much the end of nerve endings. And you want to like condense them. And I'm doing all this jargon of
Yeah.
magical stuff.
I mean,
I
you
don't
have
understand.
access to Stunning Strike. You know. You know how to stop a person in their tracks. Yeah. I mean, Hold Person's a second level spell, so if that's all you want to do for your downtime, like, by all means. Is there
Hold
anything?
Monster.
Oh, Hold Monster. Ooh.
Yeah, the 5th level
Oh my
variation of it.
god, that's fucking
It's a
hell.
li-
Link that in
little
the
tiny
chat.
bit different.
Link it in the chat, just so people can see a 5th level spell. Oh,
Oh
my god.
There you go.
Oh
Look
my
at that.
god.
90 feet, a
sexy.
small straight piece of iron. Choose a creature, any creature. The target must succeed a wisdom saving throw or be paralyzed for the duration. Up to 1 minute. This spell does not work on undead, so unfortunately Ozark's off the table. But at the end of each of its turn, the target can make another wisdom saving throw. Okay. Wow, this will really fuck something's day if this, like, goes off.
Yeah.
It's
It's like
worse than
Stunning
Stunning
Strike, but it lasts for more than a turn.
And the DC is higher.
Well,
It could get much higher. Especially now that some things are on the armory.
Wait,
Anyway.
so it does paralyze guarantee crits?
yes.
Yes. It's very strong. I think Paralyze does beat out Stun solely for that.
No. So I'm saving my smites for this spell, is what I'm hearing. Okay.
Yes.
I
Any...
did want to.
Yeah, let's hear
I
it.
want to spend some time. I had gotten all these complaints about the Ozark I had asked for,
True.
but I realized I'm an idiot and don't know what to do with it. So I will seek out a legal professional or someone I think who could maybe do something about Ozark. Like, I would go to Tyrant, but I feel like he kind of has this thing with Ozark. I can't really fuck with it, right? Maybe
No,
I'll go
you
to,
know
like-
that Tyrant is 100% on board, and, like, he is stopping Ozark from actively destroying you, specifically.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So,
Whenever I can get, not like a private audience, but more like, hey, yeah, Ty, I got all these complaints. I don't know what to do with them. I'm just gonna, like, leave
yeah,
them.
he'll
Oh, fuck,
totally
you
give
can't.
you legal advice and be like, alright, so what first thing you want to do is you want to go retain a lawyer. You want to tell him what's going on, get a, consultation, see if he's going to send you around. This is clearly like a workplace violation. And he's just going to go down the list and is completely on board with fucking over and suing Ozark. And just dragging him specifically down in a legal battle. While they are at war with and are like working together.
I mean, he's surely blasted Tyrant with a few arcane missiles out of habit. At
Oh
this
yeah,
point.
totally. It's happened all the time. But legal representation, yeah. He doesn't know any good lawyers in Tulsa, but he
Oh, I'll
does
get all
know
of
the
them.
people, like, well, morally good. Good mechanically, he does know from the councilman, who he has in the past had run-ins with, and he won't go into detail about that.
Oh no.
But
yeah.
yeah, it's basically fantasy Boston legal is what you're about to walk into.
Yeah, I'll take his advice. I'll seek out at least 3 or 4 lawyers. Be like, yeah, I have this good case. I think no problem. Bring out a
Oh,
little
yeah, dude,
stack
yeah.
of complaints. Like,
Uh-huh.
yeah, look, he stole this from this guy. I have news. He blasted someone just last week. And, you
Oh,
know,
an employer, mentally dominating, over and over, one of their employees. That goes against every regulation in the book. He's at least gonna get a 50 gold fine.
could we shoot for more than that?
Oh yeah, totally. Well, whenever we're in a legal case, especially with a high-profile person, we're not looking to we're looking to settle, right? So we're at least gonna get you 50 gold. That's life-changing money. But they're gonna go through. Man, this actually kind of hurts a little bit. Just to roleplay out. This is getting a little too close to home, I guess. Basically, they're gonna sue him for 1 billion gold, and they're gonna see what they can get out of him. And chances are it's probably not gonna be anywhere close to what anybody wants. Because this is gonna become a class action lawsuit, and basically, letters are gonna go out to anyone who possibly could have been affected by Ozark, and then 4 or 5 years later, there's gonna be like a potential hearing, because there's no way Ozark is ever gonna settle, right? So he's gonna
All
take this
those,
to
I would
court,
say, then.
and he's gonna make his own, and it's just gonna be this massive problem. And you're starting to realize you're looking at, like, you, specifically Yugu, do not have enough money to, like, bankroll this, like, legal battle. You're gonna need to get some, like, either sponsors or people who are also in on it and just hate Ozark,
Yeah.
and they don't want to be the face of the legal, suit. So they're
I have a
fine with
very-
you taking, like, the
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
the
have a
portrait
very-
picture here.
Get fucked face.
Yeah. But I guess we'll worry about that later.
Now I have a plan. Find someone who's rich who hates Ozark. Okay, write that down. All right.
Yeah. Or really, just someone who wants to mess with him, right? Like,
Waste his time for 5 to 10 years.
If you can find someone to do that, you're gold, bro.
Maybe
Find
another
any other
lich.
lich.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay. Well, that is all of Yugu's free time from here on out forever.
What do you do? Oh, I check my case with the Ozarks. You know, I found a new friend. I'm sure they hate Ozark too.
Okay. I present you all the question, where's the beef?
Where is Beef? What is he doing?
Yeah, let's have a scene with Beef real quick. Beef, it's one day after Ozark, not Ozark, after Tyrant has, not killed, but watched Arvo die. It's literally one day. You've been on the team 6 days. Maybe 7. I can't honestly remember.
About just a week.
Yeah. Hang on. Let's, who is Maury? You are requested to come into the snack room, where apparently you're gonna get a special mission.
A special mission?
Yes, a very special mission. Before the political team understood... John's on the wrong map for you guys. Let me go bring you to the world map real quick. Down south, if you will, south of Turv, between the Forge of Alvin and Mokapuni, the political team picked up a notice on a magical map that there is an underwater or above water thing there. So there's either a flying fortress in the sky way, 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 way up, or there's something down below, which seems more reasonable for something to be hidden. And they need people particularly good with water, holding their breath, and who can also sink without the pressure of the ocean killing them, to go down there and explore. So they're looking for, specifically, barbarians and people they wouldn't mind trapped at the bottom of the ocean for all eternity to go down there.
What you're saying is, you need the beef.
We need the beef, the tyrant tells you. So what do you say, Beef Swellington?
He flexes, doing several poses in front of the tyrant, being like, I will be your beef.
Okay. Cool. They shake your hand, pat you on and just give you like a free T-bone steak for you to munch on as they send you on the airship where you will never be seen again.
Wow, this airship sure is nice. How long does it take?
Yes!
To go up
Beef Swellington is effectively dead as of this moment. However, John brings out an old nameplate on stream.
Yeah.
Which
Live.
he prepared in advance while you were setting up your cameras. And we're gonna rewind the clock several months now. So that we never have to focus on Beef Swellington again. When did Runt leave? Like July? August?
The same the same day we came back, and like a couple days after we came back, after the fight with the giant bird and Yugu's competition with Jerome with the violin, like he left almost immediately after that.
Early August.
Early August. Raid Lighthouse, class action lawsuit, Tess versus Ozark. Yugu speaks with Shade. I wonder what that was referring to.
That wasn't. Didn't he go into a field and cast like the
Yeah, I
illusion
used
spell
my
and
Your
And
what?
just
hallucinate
talk to Shade?
terrain.
It ended up being like a fruitless conversation, and Shade just ended up calling Yugu stupid. I think.
Yeah,
You know,
I
it
mean,
happens sometimes.
that's what
Okay.
happens most of the time. To be.
Oh, yes. Early August. I see. When did you guys get back is what I'm really trying to find out.
Mm.
Late July, maybe?
I think so. D returns on the 30th of July. So that would have been the last day that Runt was truly with them. And then we had that 2 weeks of downtime or so. Followed by the Vision, followed by everything that came after that. So Runt, you have been gone for 2 months? July, August, all of August. So during August, I guess, when you arrive back in Maelstrom at the behest of the Prince, or do you just kind of appear there? How does Runt get to Maelstrom?
I would imagine it's more of like he wanted to separate because of the thing that happened with Meager, and also he wanted to check in and see like, because the mission with the staff was kind of a failure, so he wanted to kind of see where things stood after that, because he didn't know what happened since he went in with everyone, and he doesn't know like the status of what happened with Maelstrom and Tolst working together against the Foul Ones. So
Mm-hmm. Oh, so when you guys got teleported, you're trying
Right.
to figure out the... Okay, cool.
hmm
So you probably take an airship to the Forge of Alvin, and then kind of have to, like, take a boat, because regular airships do not last within Maelstrom. Maelstrom has their own specific airships. I guess there is a tower, like, 30 or so miles north of Maelstrom, but no one really parks there. So you go through this Gulf area down here, where you can see, well, the storm above you, just omnipresent, hitting rain down on just everything, turning mud into just this slushy, absorbing liquid that would threaten to eat anybody who stood still for more than a few minutes. And make your way up the barely functional pathways to the keep, where the only true hard ground remains. You pass by the nice manors, also similarly magically held and fastened. Some houses are just literally hovering, just with the illusion of being on the ground, just so that they won't sink in and their foundations won't crumble. But into the keep you go, where it is dark and dimly lit and kinda gloomy. The royal guard, as it were, being preoccupied? Question mark?
What are they preoccupied by?
John is checking something.
Loading cutscene.
Calendar notes. They are preoccupied because they are divvying up the spoils of what they got from the City of Blinding Lights. That is what they're really preoccupied by.
Oh.
It is a loot party / auction going on between like 400 people, all of not extreme wealth, but like notable wealth. And more or less what happens here is things of monetary value are shown and like revealed, and people bribe each other to get it. Specifically, the prince's... I don't want to call them like advisors, but like the
His
prince's
cabinet.
dad's
kind of-
people. So the prince has no true military authority, despite being the prince. Basically, what he's done is bribed his dad's generals to go on this fucking mission in the first place. So now they get all the loot, which they are now reselling to their own soldiers. And it's a big fucking racket.
Gotcha. I suppose he'll like walk past all of it, like stopping and staring to see all the cool shiny things that he definitely wants to steal, but he won't because
You see an old
You know-
man just in a cage rattling the door. Let me out! You have no right to contain me!
is he like a rat man or is he just like a regular?
No,
dude?
he's just an old dude wearing like fucking shorts that cut off at like the thighs. And just like this crazy torn, tattered, like indigo shirt. He's like flailing a hat just like outside the bars trying to hit the guy speaking. Let me out! Let me out!
Huh. I feel like that. No, that checks out here.
Okay. Well, where are you going, Chief?
He's gonna go and try and find the prince.
Yeah. It'll take you a moment. You haven't really gotten free reign of this place, but as your time being a spy and being trained here, you've more or less collected your way around. Oh, excuse me.
Sneak past the cool spy guards who all have sunglasses they wear indoors.
Yes, exactly. They're statues and not really people, but the illusion sells the show, as they say. I'm gonna eat a Tums real quick. Hold on. Okay. You enter the prince's quarter of the keep. There is some faint, but also, like, new age, clearly, like, younger generation focused music going on. Fuck you, Yugu. Just sort of in the background, and it's basically just a teenager's room with like 5 teenagers sitting around a table. Part of them, like most of them, have like their weapons out, and they're like as if they have just gone through some great string of exhaustive just actions. They're just like looking at each other. One of them is pissed. Several of them look like they're about to fall asleep. And the prince sits alone on a chase, brooding, looking out of the window of the rain, playing with a crown you saw. Or a circlet, really.
He's gonna kind of sneak into the room, not wanting to be noticed by all these emo-looking teenagers.
Yeah.
He wants to leave them to brood and stew in whatever mess that they've done. And he's just gonna try to tiptoe over to the prince without making much noise.
Yeah. No stealth check required. You do so. The prince looks at you dramatically, quirks the slightest eye. Front?
Sir. What's the deal with those guys? He just kind of.
They got
Gestures.
outsmarted by a rat.
Yeah, I know how that feels.
Yeah.
I know how that feels all too well.
He nods.
So, how you been? How were things on the other side of the conflict? I saw some soldiers got quite a bit of loot from the city.
Yes. Right, you can clearly see the circlet is not active, nor working. The Prince of Maelstrom has gone back to his usual self of quiet contemplation, which disguises his very low intelligence score.
Yeah, he kind of he lets out a soft sigh. It's like, damn it, I was hoping it was permanent. Uh,
Nothing
and
ever
just
is. He just just says with some lucidity.
huh. Uh, well, I came back here, uh, because I didn't really want to hang out in Tulst at the moment. There is a person in particular who I wanted to stab many, many times. But if I did that, I would probably get turned into putty by the tyrant. So I decided to be the bigger man for once in my life and let things be.
He stares at you for a solid 5 seconds. And it just gives you the stupidest smirk you've ever seen. Everything works out in the end. That's what I've always been told. I'm glad you're back, Runt. There's something I want to share with you.
He nods his head, but doesn't say anything, just kind of looking curiously at the prince.
The prince, does like this big, massive Riker from the Star Trek series leg move to like come and sit down and truly face you, Runt. And although, this guy's not physically big and intimidating, he looks kind of like hostile in a way. Of like, wow, this guy might be an idiot, but he's also like filled to the brim with some kind of magical power. And he looks at you, brow set, and tells you quite sadly, I don't have many friends.
Neither do I.
I know.
He frowns slightly at that.
Why we hired you.
Okay.
You would
Go
not be
on.
missed. Much like these dumb fucks, he says. Quite ironically to the table of people who are paid to be his friend. What you're doing in Tulst is good. But also, we have need of you.
In what way?
It's sad to say this, but we don't have many interns here who will work on principles and ideals. All of my father's men are bloodthirsty maniacs, yes. Brutal, efficient killers who've hoarded wealth for generations. They can, if they are prompted, delete anything they come across. But I don't have the authority to give them that order. I need my father back. I need him here so that our city, already sinking, does not sink further. Morally speaking.
Of course.
Not literally speaking.
I understand.
We're already sinking.
It's a constant problem, my lord.
It's horrible. I don't know why we keep doing it. And he does not present a map so much as explain to you the current situation of where King Maelstrom of Maelstrom on his ship, the Maelstrom, currently is. As you understand, this naming convention might be more than, or maybe his intelligence is genetic.
Guys, we need to find the Maelstrom.
Which one?
Yes.
The Maelstrom War, yeah. King Maelstrom, Prince Maelstrom's father, King of Maelstrom on the Maelstrom, is currently north / in the open ocean above Ugarest, doing his war thing and oppressing their people. However, Ugarest apparently isn't so much putting up a fight anymore. They are kind of having an internal squabble now that a good old enemy of yours, the Herald, has sent a messenger there. A Counselor Duplan or something?
Oh, fuck that guy.
He nods. My father does not know anything about what's going on the mainland. It's tradition for him to solely focus on his campaign and let the city do its thing. But we need him back now. I need someone to go make contact with him and do that. I can't myself because I'm not allowed to leave again. But you have the freedom that none of my other companions have. There's a catch, however.
There always is.
The ship he is on only lets those who have taken part of that ship into themselves. It is it's a living storm, I think is how it was described to me. And it's part of the storm up there. And he just points to the ceiling. This is a hard thing to do, and also kind of survive, because you will essentially be binding yourself to a lightning bolt or thundercloud or rain droplet.
Oh, good. I'm going to have to do the very thing that I've warned dozens of people not to do. He just kind of looks dejected. He thinks about all of the people who bound themselves to some sort of greater creature and how much fucking shit that put the other teams through, and he's just like, oh god, I hope I don't explode, I hope I don't explode, I hope I don't explode.
Only
Okay.
one guy's ever exploded. His name was Jeff. I knew him. He was like 8 years older than me when I was 16. So what was... You can see him do math, which is like the bane of his existence. When you said dozens, he was trying to like imagine more than 12 things. And it's just like not checking out.
He quickly answers to give him the age number 24. My prince.
Yes, he was 24 when he exploded. It was a cloud of mist and blood. He retained his entire personality, but he lost all of his flesh. He literally became a blood cloud with like lightning going through it. The prince stabs.
That sounds kind of cool.
Oh yeah, Jeff is real cool.
I don't think I want that to happen to me. Also,
Yeah.
I'm more worried about exploding next to my... I wouldn't call them friends. I'd call one of them a friend. My coworkers. I don't want to inadvertently kill them in the middle of something important.
Yeah, I don't want to humiliate myself either.
But I mean, if I became a blood cloud in the middle of a combat, that'd be kind of cool.
Pretty sick, yeah. You'd shoot lightning like 4 times, and then we'd have to put you into a power cell to fuel the other ships. Jeff is now a ship. He's an airship.
Maelstrom 2, Electric Boogaloo. Let's go.
No, I don't know the name.
Well,
it's
his
probably
name is
something
Jeff,
silly or stupid.
Is it Jeff with the G?
It could be.
G off.
No, it's Geth. Geth's revenge, yes. Now I remember.
But how would I gain this power exactly? I'm not sure I quite understand.
We do the ritual. You want to do it now? You just want to wing it? You want to come into my ritual chamber?
He thinks about saying, maybe no, and then he's just like, wait, isn't this like everything I ever wanted? Gaining magical power from the city that he grew up in, and literally being the closest confidant of a soon-to-be king eventually. Like, if he survives this God War, he will literally be.
Yeah, he'll be set for life.
Yeah, he'll be set for life for two world leaders, the Tyrant and the King of Maelstrom.
Yeah,
So
you will be an influencer.
yeah. From literally the smallest guy to the biggest man. And so he's like, sure, fuck it, let's do it.
Yeah, hell yeah. Cindy! And he's just like, one of the people jumps as if they just like fell asleep. And he's like, I need your healing abilities. And she's like, oh, fuck. I should have been a sorceress. And she like stands up. And you three go into the ritual chamber where I don't know if I need to like do the true description of what happens. I feel like we don't need to play it out that much. But more or less, Runt will be bound to a storm elemental. Storm elementals are much different from any other kind of elemental. Mostly due to the fact that they're like every kind of elemental at once, but also like individualistic. They don't last very long. That's kind of their trope. They sort of burn themselves out and then just fizzle because they're not like bound to any one land. But it seems like one is permanently here in Maelstrom. And this thing, condensed bottle of lightning with a little storm cloud within it, is released into a room where it will severely ravage your body, lowering your constitution score by the amount that we have already talked about.
6.
6 constitution points.
Ow.
Yes. In doing so, you do get a bit of a buff to your charisma, I believe.
Yep.
Just due to the fact that you now have a literal storm inside of you. If that doesn't give you a personality boost, then I do not know what will. Maybe just a little bit of confidence as your fucking eyes begin to flicker with lightning every so often.
Yeah, I imagine now, like, his once, like, kind of curly hair is now always, like, now he's got, like, Sonic the Hedgehog or, like, Naruto hair where it's, like, spiky.
Oh, the, what's it called? The ion orb thing?
Yeah, exactly. Now that's what his hair looks like permanently after this. If it doesn't, like, tries to go back down, he just kind of, like, shocks it a little bit. Like how someone would use hair gel, but it's magic to make it stand up.
That's pretty sick.
Gives me 2 inches, makes me taller.
You're taller than a gnome now. Congratulations.
Let's go.
A little heels, but
True. After this long, horrible physically process, I guess we'll kind of fly through the month a little bit. You'll more or less be taken on a different airship, probably Geth's Revenge, as it were, to go make a relay run to, well, the Maelstrom, a dreadnought-classed airship, one of the biggest in the world, that is completely obscured within a storm cloud, so no one outside of this storm cloud ever really sees what it is or what it's doing, giving it perpetual cover. It is just filled with magic, and when you pierce through the cloud, you see just like the top deck, where people are kind of like looking up at your much smaller frigate-sized, just very small craft, which you disembark and hand a royal decree to the king. Ron, do you remember King Maelstrom? You interacted with him once.
I saw him once ever. And that was right after having my brain blasted. So I think Runt would remember his grandiose stature, but not any real descriptors.
The king, despite being the size of a regular human, when he is looked upon, this is not the right music for us. He looks like a giant. He looks like 30 feet tall whenever you're, like, directly before him. You cannot help but look up towards him, even if you are a taller man. Be this a magical item, or just the weird effect that he has on people. This fucking guy seems to just be as big as a storm. And when he takes the decree, has no idea who you are, doesn't recognize you at all, he will put his gauntleted hand on your head, tell you, good job, as if you've just always been, like, a member of the fucking royal guard or something this entire time. Or, like, a weird nephew to him. And then just give the order, we're turning around. And everyone's like, what? No, come on. We're gonna go in there. We're gonna go kidnap people and take hostages and sell them. He's like, no. The boy has called. He must fulfill his duties. And, like, everyone goes still and quiet there. And he states, so must I. The quest shall begin. And then he just crushes the note that you brought him. It sparks with a... Well, it's literally the shocking grasp cantrip. Ignites in his hand and falls into ash before him. He wipes the ash on your, well, static electric hair. Because it's kind of like a comb now, really.
Runt just kind of, like, admires him and looks at him with, like, wide eyes, like, I can do that, but, like, much less stronger.
Understood. Good. And he will... Well, I don't know. He's either going to treat you like a child that, like, a bastard offspring of his and, like, hold you in his arm the entire way through the flight back, or you're just going to, like, stand at his ankle and look up at him awe-inspired. Which do you prefer?
Either way. Honestly, Runt would love to just be held, considering his, he was abandoned by his family who were ravaged by spirit beasts. So actual dad now. Like, Tyrant was like more like an uncle or a brother, but this is like dad. This is dad.
This is the father of the country, of Maelstrom. No one goes against this guy. This is like the biggest dick energy that ever has existed ever. You are a child to him. Quite literally. You are his child to him. And he will hold you like an infant or like a babe within the nook of his arm and show you what it is like to be in the true perspective of a king. He rides a hurricane, Runt. There is an army within a storm cloud on other ships ready to do war against a country that cannot stop him. One of the most modern, xenophobic, imperialist countries in the world. That outnumbers him like 100 to 1. He is besieged. Just because he can. He has no motivation to do this. He just does it. And it is probably the most life-changing moments of anyone's life to walk in that guy's shoes. Or in your case, to be held in his arms like you are his son.
Look, my son, do you see the storm? Everything the storm touches belongs to us.
When you get back to Maelstrom, things have changed. Word has gone out that the king's coming back, and everyone straightens the fuck up. What was basically the keep was taken over by a bunch of party boys who were using it to party hardy, go on, like, an illegal war, raid another city-state's carcass, and then come back and sell people off. And, well, not just one guy specifically. And then, like, all the magical items and just art objects from that city in a big auction. That's all gone, cleaned, prestidigitationed away. Because that cantrip exists, guys. Don't forget about that one. And there, Runt, in a clean hall with an audience of the world's soldiers, you will be allowed to be put down, walking amongst the elite, the powerful, the influential. Runt, this is everything you've ever wanted, right?
Everything. Since the moment he first came into the keep with his discredited academic, like, teacher, who his original teacher who taught him everything about magic, which is why he has proficiency in Arcana, was a guy who just, like, basically did what Yugu did, which is just like, oh, this person who's way smarter than me, I'm just gonna steal their notes. And then he just got caught doing it, and they're just like, fuck you, buddy. He was abandoned in this place by that guy, where he inevitably got brain blasted because he knew about Jerome. And to be thought of as a spy, to now be their spy, standing amongst the top of the line, some of the strongest people in the continent, in the world, amongst them, as one of them, could not be more what he wanted.
There's an Among Us joke in there somewhere. But this is all true. You don hobbit-sized clothing to be that of a royal guard. There are others like you, hobbits, gnomes, shorter-statured people filled with magic who do sick fucking kickflips and down things, 10 times their size, no big deal. And you're standing alongside them, a little bit in the back, not front and center. That's not where a spy should be ever, right?
Oh yeah. He would go to the back even if he was asked to be at the front.
Yeah. The king has been absent for over a year. He takes his throne. And then there is a procession where the prince, his followers, his closest companions, all dressed to the nines, all wearing battle gear, and even the prince wearing his stupid circlet to show that he's indeed the prince, as well as not a complete bumbling idiot, because he is artificially possessing 19 intelligence at this moment. Will go out. He's got a circlet of intelligence, guys. He found the one that fucking Igor was supposed
The one
to
that
get.
exists.
Damn.
Long the maelstrom.
The prince draws his sword and points it at his father and states, I am going on the quest of ascendancy. Try to stop me. And the king laughs maniacally like an evil tyrant, cartoonish character, and says, you have a 1 hour head start. And Ron, as an outsider, you don't know what the fuck is going on, but quite literally everyone in the room draws their weapons at this moment. And as you begin to just like watch, the party, the prince's party, will turn on heel, fucking haul ass out of the room as the king stands up with his own great sword he wields in one hand, a literal lightning bolt in the other, and calls out, if these fuckers can hold me that long. And then it just becomes bedlam. Do you want to fight the king of Maelstrom, Ron, or do you want to run?
I think I want to run. I think I'd like to run now.
Okay. Well, you run from the kind of carnage. It's not like... Part of this is ceremony, part of this is very serious, and the guys who are taking it serious are gonna get cut down. The guys who are kind of like, oh, we're just playing tag with the king who's shooting lightning bolts at us before he goes to hunt down his son. That's kind of like, you know, they're going easier on each other. And then there are like the people who are actually just like spectators. They're just fucking in the corners of the room, just kind of like arms crossed, watching, not getting involved.
Yeah, that would be him. Just
Yeah.
being like, I don't know what the fuck is happening, but there are random, like, lightning bolts.
Yeah.
Is this? I don't know what Zeus is, but if Zeus
This-
were here, this would be him.
Ron, I need you to make me an intelligence check.
Okay.
Because this is a very long callback, and I don't think you'll know immediately what's going on.
Well,
You have a vague recollection of when you took the oath with a bunch of, like, 50 other people to more or less just, like, join the quote-unquote guard. You were with Zane, a wizard, as well as a couple of other people. One dude whose name was, like, Johannes or something, is literally
was it
standing right
Georg?
next to you. I don't know if you remember this NPC. That was more or less a throwaway joke. But he's just like, wow, I kind of regret coming here. What about you, man?
he just looks up at him like, nah, this is like the best thing ever.
Okay.
Everything I've ever done has led up to this moment. I can't possibly regret it.
And with those words, heavily foreshadowing our future, we're going to go to a quick break and then reunite Runt with the rest of the party.
Yay.
So guys, thank you
Yay.
for bearing with us in this first bit. We'll be right back. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I hope the ad isn't still running. I said a 1-minute ad, but it could still be going. Guys,
Don't see one.
we have a hard cut. It is now back to September. You were all summoned briefly for a moment. Mirth, I guess, is now the odd man out as Yugu, Nav, and Runt reconvene in the same old snack room. Runt looking physically different. A little bit more shocky. A little bit more magical. Definitely, for sure. But you walk in on him, standing alone, waiting for his audience with his old boss, which is also now his new boss again. Which is... We'll get to it.
Nav is gonna walk up and hug him.
Do you, like, power slide into him, or do you, like, lower awkwardly to the ground and, like, do the underarm, like, pick up?
Second one.
Okay.
It's very awkward.
He's gonna like awkwardly pat his like arms because he can't reach his back. And he's gonna go, "Well, this is an ugly bug I haven't seen in quite some time."
And Nav is gonna set him down, step back, and be like, "Did you get taller?"
He runs his hand through his hair like, "Cha, yeah, I did."
Good for you, buddy. Good for you. What are you now? 5'4"?
Oh, you know,
Like,
something close.
2 or something?
And he gives you, he gives Nav finger guns, and he does like pew pew, and then when he does pew pew, he shoots little lightning bolts out of his hands.
You were busy for the time you were away, yeah?
Yeah, I got over the whole Meager thing and Jerome thing. Well, not so much the second one, but I'm better. I'm much better.
That's great.
How have you guys been? I
well-
heard a lot of stuff happened here, but I wasn't really kept up to speed. I was too busy.
I see you have like some cool like electric magic now. Well, I hate to disappoint, but we may or may not have accidentally destroyed Jerome's really cool electric staff.
My what?
We may or may not have destroyed Jerome's really cool electric staff.
You mean my staff that he stole from me?
Oh yes, absolutely, your staff. Yeah, it might be gone. We were in like a weird void space, and there was things going on. Jerome was there, and then he...
You're kind of
Sorry.
skimming over the part where you died for a little bit there, Nav. That kind of happened too.
I don't like this music. There.
What?
I didn't die. Like, I'm still here. But,
Really? What happened with the armor? Like, I thought you were supposed to challenge the first seal. Wasn't that the thing? That you kept screaming that you didn't want to do, but had to do. What happened with that? Did you kill them while I was gone? What?
Well, so it's really weird. Whoever said curiosity killed the cat is obviously wrong. Because all I did was ask a question. And Super Magic Man was like, oh, there is hope for you yet. And then, yeah, the spirit of the weird dude who makes the flowers uncursed me.
Huh.
And so I don't have the armor anymore. And so I don't have to worry about the first seal anymore.
Did you...
I made no deal.
Wow. That sounds incredibly fortunate. Happy for you, bud.
I'm telling you, just ask questions.
Can I just pause real quick and interject that I think Runt, I think the more universal slogan of "that's unfortunate" has been said so many times that the fact that something fortunate happened is a massive outburst, like, laugh for me. Thank you so much, Gibby, for that.
You're welcome. He just runs like wide-eyed, like, huh. So, minus the staff, because that's more of like a personal issue, which we'll get to that later, because it seems like we have pressing issues with Ty. But surely there was no pure good stuff that happened, right? Like nothing that good could just happen without something absolutely awful following it immediately.
I think that's my segue in here. As the door opens to the back of the room. Oh no, guys. We need to end the happy music.
Oh.
There is a deep mocking laugh as the door opens and a dark cloud begins to gently roll in, creating a light fog within the snack room. This laugh sends everyone's hairs immediately on edge as it goes. He's still right. And as you watch in some curiousness, maybe a little bit of mild horror, you see several black talons begin to enter through the door. The alabaster skin, the hairless but fiberglass feathered visage of Jerome entering through where the tyrant does.
Runt instinctively takes out daggers. He doesn't do anything, but he's ready to throw them.
You're ready to throw a dagger. What about the rest of you? Mirth, who beat the fuck out of this guy, you're probably just chilling. You fucking kicked this guy's ass.
Just like standing there menacingly, kind of just here looking at Runt, and trying to like wait until he gets introduced. Kind of awkwardly staying there, and then like looks at Jerome, does like a nod, like a thumb motion. Then like looks back to Runt.
Yes! You indeed have made it! And then he just gets kicked in the back and goes tumbling forward into the room. The tyrant soon follows after this kick that he just sent, this foul one, who just, ah, fuck! Calls out and screams, or squawks, I guess? There we go. There's my awkward mating. That's what I've been looking for. Oh, no I'm not. That is way too loud. I'm so sorry. Fuck it. There's a storm.
And it's a coming.
The foul one, as he is known, quickly scampers out of the way before he's stomped by your boss. And stares at Runt for a moment.
I stare back at him, and then I look at Jerome and just kind of go like, "What the fuck? What the fuck is he doing here?"
Hey, so some things have been going on in your absence. You might have been able to tell. Jerome, or should I say Geral, would you like to introduce yourself to the room of your new allies, he says.
Runt wretches like,
Yeah,
oh.
There's clear, like, hesitation, if not disgust, on the tyrant's face at the moment. Jerome starts laughing as if he is in full control of the situation. Gets up, does like the weird squat jump onto the desk of the tyrant to like stare you guys down like a bird, and says, "Oh, well, it's a favor for a friend, really. I'm not here because I want to be."
Yeah, I don't think anybody thought that, Draw.
Yeah.
I assume it's
Kind of-
because we have a new king as our king.
Kind of, yeah. You know, he's like the spiritual successor to my best friend. My only friend, really. So it'd be kind of a shame if I just assisted in his immediate death. Isn't that right, Tyrant? And the squawky, fully fanged demon, for lack of a better word, gives a big smile, and Tyrant's just like, God, I want to kill him. Okay. I thought I'd introduce you, or reintroduce you to this creature. He's going to be helping us in the next coming stages of the war. He's already proven himself He is so dishonest that we can trust him to be dishonest at all times. So, in that sense, he has a level of trustworthiness. He's on a very short leash at the moment. It's somewhat embarrassing to have him around, I'm not going to lie. He just kind of makes noises and jitters, and talks about how he wants to destroy the world. And Jerome nods sagely to this, and like, yes, we should blow this miserable, shitty world up. Civilization is awful. Look at you. You're all a mess.
Didn't you save the world once? Why would you want to blow it up?
Well, not figuratively blow. It's all a metaphor, you little thing. You're not even a gnome. You wouldn't understand.
Run. He was gay for his friend, and then his friend died, and he was depressed.
I'm still depressed.
What?
Yeah, also his friend came back to life. They went to save the world again. And...
No, I came back to life. I'm immortal.
He well?
was not. No, he got... No, he was just
you
hiding.
needed to pay attention to the story more.
Yeah, come on, Mirth.
Did you not? There was a whole
Mirth,
scene
son of Dearth,
What?
from the Forge of Alvin, secret of the hidden
even-
finger or whatever.
I could tell you that Jerome is immortal. I mean, I've seen him literally get his hand cut off and come back later.
Tyrant killed me like 8 times when I was just trying to tell him that I'm switching teams. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Yes.
I can, absolutely.
Wow. You know, you try to give a man a princess, and then he's suddenly just all up in your grill. It's
Man,
terrible.
it's like if you're a jackass so much, people don't like you.
Well, you know. You do what you gotta do to live in this society, you know what I mean?
Oh my gosh, she's inspired by the Joker.
No, I'm not. I promise.
I'm Jerome, baby.
I'm Jerome.
Jamal.
Please call me Mr. Omeka. You're my junior
What?
now, Yugu. I'm gonna teach you how to truly perform. Because your performance was pathetic.
I was going to ask that, actually. You are kind of an asshole, and I will sue you, so don't fuck with me. But could you teach me a little bit?
Is there an Ozark in the room right now?
No, there's not. Ozark refuses
Okay.
to speak with this
thank
creature.
God.
But yeah, could you give me some lessons? You're playing as...
Sure, but first you must understand, I am a world citizen. No mortal laws apply to me. You can sue my image all you like. It doesn't matter. Grab your fiddle, son. Let's go play.
I don't own a fiddle. I'll just make one. Okay, yeah.
Sure. If that's what you call your limp dick fucking instrument, whatever the hell you use.
No, I will make a fiddle. I will use my performance of creation to make a fiddle.
Hell yeah. You make a fiddle. He produces literally a bardic focus of +3 that he has been using for all of his performances. This mangled, insidious looking, just bone viola. And you two will just immediately start playing and give the other 3 time to talk, I guess. The Tyrant looked exhausted. You notice the bodyguard's not with him this time. Maybe she's around the corner, or he's just like hanging out without her today. But he more or less looks a little bit tired and is like, so Jerome is named the Wing of Betrayal. He constantly betrays everyone, and he is using that as an excuse to go rogue against his own god. There is a caveat of if he dies again, then he is obligated to be our enemy in perpetuity. And he says he won't get the choice to switch again. This is kind of like his one go of it, now that his intentions are known. So, he's a spy master. He's a master infiltrator, and he has been working with the Foul Ones ever since they materialized.
I hate where this is going.
Everything he has given us so far has proven to be a true thing. And he has given us the location of a person of interest that we've been looking for a few months now. Well, over a month since the auction in the end of August. So, yeah. He apparently bought Honor Meza from, like a Forge of Alvin defector to the Divine Ones. Really just a guy looking to make money and have the opportunity. But he bought her and knows her location. We're going to send a team to extract her. Don't worry about that. It's not a thing for you guys to worry about. But if everything holds up to be on the up and up, we're going to have a pet crow.
Rent thinks to a month ago, on the day of a celebration / murder fest, of how he says, "I got everything I ever wanted. I could never possibly regret this." And then he just looks at the ceiling like, "Oh, everything about this sucks, and I regret everything."
So about the staff, I know, Runt, you've come in part to come collect that, or like finish finding it. So when we lost it, it was in the way Ozark describes it was a demi-plane, basically a realm outside of space and time. And once it was thrown in as a item made of the world, it will come back. We don't know where. We don't know when. But it's out there somewhere. We're looking for it. Jerome was attuned to it until the separation happened, when he left without it as well. So currently it's literally any peasant can wander into it and now have like the ownership of the staff.
Well, to be fair, that's exactly what happened with me, so...
Well,
that's better than what I thought, which was that it was destroyed, which is what these guys told me, so... there's hope yet.
Yeah, those kinds of items are kind of hard to break. Or to seal, truly. Runt, welcome back. I know the prince is currently deposing his father, or something?
Yeah, there's some sort of ritual. I got attuned with the storm elemental. I went and brought the king back from blowing the fuck out of Ugarest, and now the king is ruling again.
Yeah.
And his son is taking something called the Ascension trial. So, lots of fun stuff happening to me in the past month. I wanted to talk to Arvo about magical stuff, and maybe Irithil, since I haven't seen her in a while, and if we're gonna be traveling around places that might be get a good situation on how the Ulathayans are, and you guys, we had the song, right? Did we ever finish that? Like, what happened?
Yeah. And he snaps his fingers, and immediately there is a crown upon his head, which was invisible a moment ago. We got and he just looks so sad as he shows it off. Like, there is a clear pause and, like, a gasp almost as he vocalizes, Arvo has transitioned his authority onto me and has expired.
I didn't think he could die.
Yeah. Neither did a lot of his people. But he was very old and very sick and tired of living. He was falling apart physically. Only his mind was truly there. He was more or less an undead for the past 400 years. Not truly living and unable to die. So we helped him, which is awful because he was still a person. Irithyll is still here. Corathil and the Judgment of Longing have returned to New Eulithil, where his people are, to get some delegates, their noble families, to come here to officiate a true coronation, or to confirm me as king, more or less. I'll have to, grease some palms and make some insurances and stuff like that. Irithyll is just kind of grieving. Maybe she'll talk to you. I'm not sure. I'm not gonna be the guy to go in there and tell her to converse with anyone, though.
Oh yeah, no, I think I'll let sleeping dogs lie on this one.
Okay. If there's anything you need, welcome back, I guess, is the first thing I should say. Until, your other duties call. But I think we'll have you for the foreseeable future. Question mark?
Yeah, I mean, either the prince does whatever the ascension is, or he dies to his dad, and either way, I kind of worked for him exclusively, and he looks down at, for the first time, you see him not wearing lederhosen, but like this, like, sporting the colors of Maelstrom as like this royalty, clothing. He's like, I guess that might change in the future, especially since I'm now part of Maelstrom, literally. Also, did you know there's like 4 different Maelstroms?
Yeah, they're really dumb. It's almost as if they intentionally wanted to make things confusing. Not for an enemy, but for themselves.
Yeah, well, anyway,
Because, if I'm referring to the King of Maelstrom, couldn't I just say the King?
yeah. Quick
the
side
kingship,
note,
his city.
quick, back to him, and he's gonna point at Jerome. Are we good with the
Jerome
whole
is
meager...
currently fucking with Yugu's hands. He is literally repositioning. Who taught you how to hold? This is not a proper note.
It's a
He
mess. I
just
don't
looked
know.
at the tyrant. He's like, are we good with the whole, meager thing? How did... do we not have to worry about Meager betraying us to him since he's working with us?
Mager made a
Or
deal. Ultimately, we are considering it a wash. Ozark wanted to punish him because he made a massive error in wizardly judgment, which is making deals with demons without knowing the cost. But this is a big learning experience for Meager that hopefully he'll learn something from. We're not gonna execute him or put him on house arrest. Jerome seems like he is telling the truth right now. And honestly, I think he's like the weakest of the foul ones. And, you know, Jerome's head swivels and just like, I can be in your mind. And he's like, okay, sure, buddy. I mean, I can one-shot him. Like, who cares? Like, fuck this guy.
I mean, it's more annoying than anything. I just didn't want
Yeah, I agree.
a thorn in your side at the wrong time could kill you.
I understand. But if he can help us, even if it's only for short-term goals, then I will have him. I will use whatever tool is necessary to make sure my people are safe.
6 months ago, I would have fought you to the bitter end about how we could never, ever use certain methods, but considering everything I've seen and what we've gone against, especially with those blazing star fuckers, yeah, I would say our time is running out, and we kind of need all hands on deck, even if they're awful black silicone feathery hands.
It's fiberglass!
Whatever.
He's very particular. It's very, very annoying. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
So, on to other news. Do you still have my bow?
No, I think we gave it to Sever or Revik.
Oh, out of... Okay, that's fine. If anyone else took it, then I would probably have to hunt them down and stab them to death. But it was his in the first place anyway. It belongs with him.
Okay.
I mean, he and I... It's... Listen, I don't give things up that easily. But that was one of the few things that we actually strangely bonded over, alright? Don't look too much into it.
I won't. Alright, Jerome, put up the fucking viola. Yugu, come sit down. We need to talk about
Oh, but
what we're doing
these are
next.
good lessons. We'll talk
Bro,
after.
I've got 24 in performance. You can't just stop me now.
Mirth is going to whisper to Runt. I'm Mirth. I'm a monk and a doctor. I'm in the group now.
You're also really fucking big, dude. Jesus, look at those arms.
Yep, they do drag on the floor sometimes.
Do you do push-ups or are they just body ups?
Body ups. I'm not strong enough to do push-ups.
Not.
Guys, you'll have more than enough time to introduce yourselves.
Oh yes.
Let's focus up for a minute. Yeah. So, as of a month ago, the Discovery team is no more. You are technically Unit 03 now. That is your current assigned code name as we move into a more militaristic sense of, well, organization. So, you are currently technically all on paid leave as of this moment, but I would use this as a personal training time, I suppose. Go out and do the things you might not be able to do next year, because next year we are assuming that there's going to be some serious battles ahead. This is kind of everyone, including our enemies, time to gather up supplies and themselves and prepare for war. No war can come to Tolst in the winter, but that's not the same as Thorazor and Alcazan and the Isles of Flavor, which are still on our checklist of things to do. We are very keen on looking at Ugarest as well. I don't know if you all have been paying attention to the political sphere, but Runt, I know, well, you literally brought me the message from the prince and the king himself. Ugaris seems to be in a state of civil unrest slash gang-like conflict on a political level, and that only leads to civil war. Because once political leaders start assassinating one another in their farcical republic, you know, it's just chaos, and then war, and then we're in a position to potentially infiltrate and affect who becomes the gateway to the West, which we can get in touch with the people or the continent of Hyperia and make a deal with their emperor to bring some airships over via that, well, gate. Oh, well, many deals can be made. What do you all have in mind as things you are wanting to do?
Well, now that I know that the staff's not completely destroyed, and with you just mentioning the potential of exploring an entirely new continent, or at the very least the edge of our current one, those are my two top priorities. Finding that staff wherever it is, and securing it for us, particularly me if I'm allowed, or going to Ugarest and, well, I'm a spy. It's literally my job to infiltrate and sabotage our enemies.
We're gonna hold off on infiltrating Ugarest right now. No one's going there. We don't. The last thing we want to do is galvanize both sides against us. We want them at each other's throats.
But those are my two kind of sight lines at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, I have noticed that the eastern side of the continent is kind of a shithole right now. And I don't know if you know, but I come from there. I kind of want to know if my family or people in general are safe. It's been a long time since we've been over there, or I've heard any news. For all I know, it is just a wasteland of death.
So, the last we haven't heard from Moolah since you came here, Yugo. Normal City, we've evacuated, in large part thanks to Antoine, if you know him. He's one of the people who complained about Ozark as well.
I have many, many reports from him.
Yeah. He's a very analytical man. But, I mean, Normal City was like 30 people trapped in a cowboy resort, if you will. They never knew what was going on outside of like a 30-mile radius of their town.
Well, I did. From my bunker in Moolah, it was the same. We could farm the land nearby. Our closest bunker friends we were very non-aggressive with. But this is exactly why I'm concerned.
Anchois' group, the political team as they are known, despite having very little to do with politics, they had eyes on Moolah, Yugu, and it did not look good. The entire territory was covered in mushroom spores. Also, there's no way of getting there anymore. It's now separated by 2 degrees of enemies. Like, not only Destry, which is now in consolidated hands of the Herald and her goons, but also the Boars, and this Bouvor character we've heard about. I hate to say it, but Moolah's kind of on their own. Just
Kind of thought this would be the way that things are. Could we make an effort, at least to support them later?
if you come to me with a reasonable mission idea or document, take time to think about that. I have to approve it, clearly. And I don't want to send anybody to their needless deaths, especially now. But I'm always willing to consider any opportunities.
I will make notes. I'll find a way, yeah?
Good man. Nav, Mirth, any... want to weigh in?
A lot of motifs came up in the kind of visions that we saw, and one of them is the world pillar. It is the center of our continent. It is essential for a lot of different civilizations, and we don't have any clue what it is.
Jerome squawks up. It's better that you don't.
Is it
Then
'cause it
do
had to
you?
with-
Yeah, of course. I died there. Several times. Like 3.
What is the world pillar?
Remember that song, Stairway to, Hell? It's like the reverse of that. It's like a highway to, the heavens.
It sounds really bad if we're gonna be fighting gods.
Oh,
Well, so it doesn't connect to where you think it does. It literally just keeps going. Forever.
How do people get to the top?
You don't.
Is there a top?
There's no top. It just keeps going. It looks like there's an end, but there's not an end. Only that Hephaestus guy truly figured it out. And he was going to destroy the world by abusing that. Whatever the fuck true information he had on it. We stopped him, by the way. I'm a hero. You guys should give me a medal.
Yeah, we know. Yada yada.
Yeah,
We've been through his temples. We did all the Ulathayan temples. We learned about your tragic past.
Yeah.
You're still an asshole.
Meh. You're mortal. Opinions will change. They haven't in 50,000 years, but they will change. One day I'll look like the good guy, and you guys will look like the fool. And then you just watch as the tyrant backhands him.
Anyway, so you're saying a better use of our time other than the world pillar.
I don't know what's there. I don't trust this guy when it comes to it, to be perfectly honest with you. That being said, if there's a shit ton of spirit beasts still there, there must be magic somewhere. Like physical magic. Items. They'll be guarded, for sure. The real problem is getting you there, and then extracting you. The Judgment of Long is currently doing its own thing. And that was the airship that kind of had... Yeah?
Could we bring one of the stupid Ozarks? He knows
No.
the circle to bring us back, yeah?
Ozark can't leave Tolst, much like me. He can make
No.
very
One of
brief
the-
exits and entrances, but he is bound to this land.
Oh, I see. So he will die, even these simulacrums?
It's more like a diffusion, and then rebinding. It's a very dumb thing that is a lich. A lich's responsibility to his faith or area is like a universal law of the world. He can't go against it. So,
Is there a way past the mountains in the Forge of Alvin?
if there is, I don't know it. And I've never been there. Also, the Overlord is kind of a bitch.
True. But before we figure out how we're gonna get to the world pillar, let's look at other options. Nav, you want to do anything, bud? You still want to challenge the first seal without the armor?
He fucking flips you off.
Well, we never. And he's gonna look towards Yugu and Mirth. We never really did anything with the garden. We kind of got sidetracked with that.
I guess we could go to get his cloth anyway, but we kind of wrapped up what he wanted or what we needed to do with the flower mage. Yeah,
Did we?
we got the crown from him. You think there is more?
Well, it's vestments.
Yeah, he said his vestments, and I don't see. We got the crown from something completely unrelated.
If
But
we
it
know
was
for
him.
sure that his vestments are there, it's better than going to the world pillar where we just assume that there's magic there because they're spiller beasts.
Also,
And
frankly, I've wanted to know more about his kind, as he points at Jerome.
Oh? Jerome's eyes, black as night, with just the smallest flare of red, just erupts, truly looking at you, Nav. That's a dark spiral you'd go on. But I'd make the journey worth it, buddy, just for you.
Somehow I doubt that, but
I'm an entertaining man! He just goes on another rant until he's hit. The tyrant asks, why, might I ask, are you interested in them? Like, I suppose I should clarify of what specifically interests you. Because the word interest is sort of ambiguous and...
not interest as in like summoning them or walking down whatever path turned Jerome or Geralt into Jerome, but we really don't know much about them other than they come from some other place. I mean, knowing more about them and where the place they come from can only be beneficial, I feel.
You want to know about hell? Is that what you want to talk about? You want to get ready?
sure.
You want to take the advanced course, as it were, before you go there yourself? Why don't you let it surprise you? I let it surprise me. Look where I
That's a great
am.
question, actually. If we're gonna fight gods, do we have to fight whatever's in hell too, or?
Yeah, we're coming for you. I'm coming for you.
Actually, that is good question. You serve a god, so the tyrant said.
Oh yeah,
Do
totally.
you have you seen them? Do you know them?
Oh yeah,
How do
totally.
you-
I'm its champion. I'm the best it's got. And it's kind of why it's putting up with me doing some bullshit like this. It won't once it finds out. But you know,
And which one is yours?
I'm gonna let you take a little guess. He says, showing off the crow motifs. Oh, I'm sorry. You don't even know any. You're a dum-dum, aren't you?
No, it's a matter of from the three that
No.
were fighting beforehand. Was your god one of them?
What? What are you on about?
I think he means peace and
Yeah, peace.
fights we've seen.
What?
Yeah.
Ares' dad? No. Oh. Oh no, that guy's not. He's done so. Walden took care of him. Or Walden should have took care of him, I should say. I never actually got confirmation. Because Nanarian is a cold stone bitch who won't share anything. She doesn't trust me. At all. I mean, that's probably good. I'd spill the beans. I'd tell everybody. No, I work for the Crow.
How original.
Quite. It was the first, after all.
And how do we kill this god?
You can't. What?
Is the god allied with the cult of the...
Yeah, we're all after to eat your boy. Kill him. Stop him from destroying the world.
We're not gonna destroy the world. I thought you wanted to do that.
No. Well, I want to destroy civilization. And in doing so, it might destroy the world. But I'm always willing to take that gamble. What?
How is destroying civilization and destroying the world any different from each other?
So, like, Hephaestus wanted to quite literally, what's it called? What's the, you're a younger guy. Control-Alt-Delete the entire material realm. I just don't like cities. Groups of people, kinda lame. We should all, like, go back to when we were tribes. We were more trusting back then. Everything was cool.
Okay. Another question for you. If Hephaestus got so close to destroying the world, why didn't the gods step in then?
They did. Every god stepped in. I stepped in. Can you imagine me working with fucking Miss Sunshine? He literally summons the sun. I'm blind during the day. Well, not really, but...
Oh, so that's who all of they were. That makes sense.
So,
anyway.
The gods are allied against civilization and
no,
the tyrants.
Look, buddy, we're like a big family. We squabble all the time. You know, I've been killed like 200 to 2,000 times by now. There's been a lot of death in this world. It's so much your mind can't comprehend. You're literally built differently not to understand. But when shit gets real and all of the existence that you know it is about to be blown up by some cocky bastard, and the tyrant's just staring at him, we gotta step in. We gotta drop, you know, our petty hatreds of each other and, you know, eat a boy. We gotta eat him. We gotta rip his flesh open and eat his heart. Fuck.
I just looked at the tyrant and I was like, I don't think you ever told us what our final objective ever was. Like, I always thought that you were about just getting rid of the spirit beasts in the world, honestly.
What?
I mean, it's been so vague, and you haven't given us very much to go on your own ultimate goal, which, to be fair, makes sense, but, you know, not very many hints.
My ultimate goal is to, He stops for a moment. Almost about to casually spill the beans. And then kind of lets out a sigh. I did not choose this war. This war came to my door. And my city. And the world. This dumb fuck says otherwise. That I'm starting shit. Somehow. Guys, I don't know if you know this, but I was just gonna be like a cop. Like, a police chief. Eventually. I was gonna get a fucking 9 to 8. Work 20 hours a day. Get married. Maybe have a kid. That was my entire life goal. And that was interrupted, quite abruptly, by This one. Well, not this one, this one. And Jerome's just like doing that. Okay, sure, buddy.
I thought you were a homunculus. That was raised as a
Yeah.
hunter when you were young.
I was.
So why would your dream be, or why would your goals be to be a police chief if you were going to be a hunter?
Being a hunter sucks. I don't know if you know this, but like every hunter dies before the age of like 40. And if you're like 40 plus, you have ascended. Like, you are a legend. You literally cannot be killed.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I look to Jerome.
Yeah.
Gerald.
You can call him Jerome. That's his preferred name, to be honest.
Good to know. What is the tyrant doing that's so wrong?
He exists.
And this is a threat to the world?
Yep. He's breaking the rules. Well, yeah, he's breaking the rules. I don't need to explain it to you, to be honest. I think it is literally over your pay grade here, Chief. But, your boy, I want to eat his heart. But first I want to troll everybody else. That's kind of my entire life's purpose. You know, if it means anything, I believe him. I don't think he wants to end the world. I think he will, though. In one way or another.
What if he changes the world instead of ending it?
Yeah, that could
that okay
possibly
with
end
you?
it, too. Yeah.
Yeah, I see.
Well, I guess it's going to be our job to make sure that doesn't happen. Because if he does everything by himself, the world surely will end. But no, not when we all
Oh.
work together.
I have some bad news for you, though, Ron. That's the exact same justification that I'm using. And his, like, oh, the biggest teeth grin ever.
Red frowns and glares at him. Well, I guess that just makes it a good reason to use, huh?
True. It lets us have some exciting adventures. You know, I think war brings the best out of us. What about you?
Last time I thought about war, I think I murdered kids. Well, I don't think I murdered kids. I definitely murdered kids. But we
And
called
look
them
at
enemy
how much of
combatants
a
at the time.
better person you are for it. Now, would I murder a child? Maybe. I
Maybe.
haven't had the need
Almost
to yet.
definitely.
I kidnap a lot of people. But it's usually to get at the other guys, you know? The true bad guys.
And who is the bad
Tyrant's
guy in
about
your
to fucking
mind?
hit him again.
Other than our boy here, who else would you classify as the bad guy?
Oh, just him. It's just him. Like, we killed him. I think we'd all call it a mission complete. We'd all leave.
Really? There's no one else in the entire world.
Okay, we'd
Besides
stay
this
a
one.
little bit longer, alright? We'd cause some ruckus, and then, you know... But who doesn't have things they want to complete in life? The only reason I'm here is that I had some... just a little bit of closure.
Really? Like no one else? Like not like Ozark or any of the other liches? Anyone else who's extremely powerful?
Why would we kill
just
them?
this guy?
They're the ones holding
That's
this world
what-
together. They're the
I
glue.
don't know.
Wait,
That's why I'm asking, because I don't understand.
Well, fuck.
with the Return of the Gods started, like, who started the Return of the Gods, though?
What do you mean?
Like, the gods weren't coming to our plane, they were gone.
I think that's classified. I'm not allowed to just give away secrets for free here, Chief. If you want to sell me your soul, though, and then he's just hit again. All right, Jerome, go to your room. And he's like, oh, come on, Dad. And he's like, no, you're done. Stop interacting with these people. It's like, I'm just going to whisper in their dreams. Like, you can't stop me. And Jerome is more or less dragged out of the room by just fucking armored goons. Probably reservists dressed up to literally drag this guy around.
They put Lamau boots on his arms to hold him down.
Like, Jerome's not the strongest of creatures. He's elusive, but he's, like, going with it. He's like, you know, this is just putting off the inevitable.
You. Tyrant, I do have a bit of a good question, though.
Yeah.
Why were the gods not... Like, they could invade the world anytime they wanted, right?
I don't know. I don't know. At all. The only person who seems to know is Ozark. But he's cagey. Very cagey. And they mock me a lot for asking. And for what it's worth, the Tyrant does seem genuinely pissed off here. I'm getting told every time I question things, it'll make sense later. Focus on what's in front of you. It's annoying. It's very annoying.
Maybe we could learn for you. We've discovered a lot of stuff already. Gave you the crown and everything. Learned about that.
What do you suggest? Breaking into the 100 Ozark's rooms? And, like, maybe finding a journal? You think he has a journal sitting down explaining the events of, like, what's really going on? As if I couldn't dominate his mind and tell him to give me that journal?
No. Like, well, the tower of Hephaestus kind of was like that. Do we know of any other place like that? An old powerful guy used to own it?
Well, assumedly...
Another lich, maybe?
There are other liches, yeah. They're elusive. Many are in hiding. Many are schmoozing it up on the open seas as well. I feel like the immortals, the true immortals, are not going to tell us anything. They have done this song and dance for who knows how long. Ozark is hiding behind his simulacrums, so that he doesn't have to engage with me directly, because he knows I can Gios him, and he will not be able to protect himself from it. That's why there are so many of these clones, and he himself is in hiding. They're smart. They're not just going to let a bunch of thugs, he points to you, walk up and question them. If it was that simple, I'd do it myself.
We could find abandoned buildings. You know? People who
This
have
honestly makes
left.
me think about the world pillar. And like you were mentioning earlier, Yugu, Hephaestus, because Jerome did let out one small secret, and that's Hephaestus was the only person to figure out what was truly going on with the world pillar. So that might be our one ticket in, if we can figure that out.
It seems to me that we need to look for his shit.
We need to find Kushim.
Shame. Why?
He has the what was the name?
Oh, neat.
Yes, neat. That was Hephaestus is. I might
You
remember
guys have
something
an
by accident.
arcane intelligence as well. Okay,
You
well,
knew of
here's
him.
some
You
secrets.
saw it before.
Which you may, yeah, okay, well. Things happen and fly by me a lot, guys. Oh, everyone's giving me a lot
Fair
of
enough.
information at once. I don't have 50 copies of myself to disseminate. So,
Understandable.
Mokapuni. There is a temple that has crashed into a volcano directly connected to Hephaestus. Piddle's Wet Spot used to own that temple. In theory, can still activate it. The problem is, we don't have the resources to activate it anymore. It wants I think it quoted 1 billion million gold pieces. Obviously, we don't have that kind of, money on hand. But a sufficiently powerful magical item could, in theory, do it. Or at least maybe get access to the room. If this thing, Randy, is as smart as it mockingly claims to be, perhaps that is a way forward.
And we go back to the magic item of the vestments, which is the most powerful non-asshole spellcaster we know about, or the world pillar, who houses some magic that's so powerful that it attracts so many.
Wait, what about the Blazing Star? They were looking for some super awesome spell focus. I would be.
Yeah, keeping the things away from them.
Yeah, and we could destroy it to this temple. Sounds good.
But we'd have to get to it first.
I have bad
yeah.
news.
Do you...
The political team, Anchois, and his squad, currently they're solving the puzzle. There is a guardian of sorts that has absconded with the key to get the item. And we have no way of tracking it down. It's a flying invisible imp, which no one has actually seen. It could literally just hide forever. And they kind of screwed the pooch on that one. But there are other items of legendary quality. I mean, we literally found one in the dimension we were in, that sword.
Yeah.
I don't know if getting rid of things willy-nilly or taking them across the continent is a good idea without any insurances. We need to
so
get...
Have you made contact with this... whatever you called it? Castle?
No. Apparently, I haven't, no. The political team has a... part of it. Under the assumption that they're going to kill Piddle's Wet Spot, who is currently more or less being protected by Ozark. We have plans for the wizards that we have here. He is here, yeah.
He got
Not
saved out of a briefcase? Yeah,
Kind
why
of.
don't we just ask him for help?
We can talk to him, definitely. But then comes the tower situation, which you guys might not be familiar with. There is a secret cabal of wizards that are out for blood. Or at least out to harass me and a deer guy named Leon. Basically, it's a cult who are just kind of hiding in another dimension. And we fear that the moment that Piddle's Wet Spot goes anywhere, they're going to teleport in to kidnap or kill him. So he can't just walk around. In fact, we had Ebor, excuse me, another gnome wizard, have a anti-scry thing on him, and they still found him. They made contact with him, like, nonchalantly, said, come join the cult again, and help us, you know, get everyone else that we've liberated. So it's kind of a complicated mess, is what I'm trying to tell you all.
Isn't it
I see.
always?
Yeah.
No
It is.
vestments or world filler. That's the decision
Personally, I
we
think-
went back to.
The vestments, or well, I don't know if my staff would be strong enough, or that I
To
would
be
be
fair,
willing to give it up.
We don't know that the vestments are strong enough either,
We might need multiple.
but it's something.
Yeah. Though I do have somewhat of a solution once we do have the appropriate items. I mean, Ozark is
There is one last alternative.
Hmm?
Piddle's wet spot told me, or told somebody, I think it was Ozark, that an Eternium crystal, something made from a primal elemental, could, in theory, act as a battery instead of magic items.
Wait. Is that the... And he's gonna flare out his fucking pick. Is that this?
It is about 800 times the size of the thing inside of that weapon.
Oh, shit.
It is a pure crystal we're looking for. And there is one, maybe two, that we could get access to. The
But-
first one is within the continent where our colony is built, which we are using as a staging point to invade the Isles of Flavor. To attack that thing or betray it will likely kill Antois, who is in service / in partnership with it. But we...
Okay, so the other one?
The other one is in a warlock named Sill's possession. Currently, it is bound to him. And I don't know how we'd convince him to give it up, or if he actually needs to die for us to get it. It may already be too late for that, as it has been in his possession / bound to his essence for several years now. Almost 3.
Well, our solutions are kill someone, or collect a lot of loot.
Maybe kill someone, probably kill someone, or collect a lot of loot. Yeah.
which involves killing some things rather than someone.
And that
There
we're demonstratively
are-
pretty good at.
Instances where there are weapons made of the Eternium crystals, like the legitimate ones. They're out there. We know they are. If we could get one of those, it's more or less a guarantee that we can, get a fucking flying temple on our side. But if we only need access to a certain, hallway or room, that could also be, the key to all of our problems. We have a lot.
What's our decision?
There's a lot to mull over. And we don't have a lot of time to mull it over. In November, the first freeze is going to happen, followed by the first storms, and then, not monsoons, but blizzards. And then Tulsa's more or less going to be knocked out of the game. No support. Not we have to sit. We have to chill. We don't know how long we got. And as all of you sit down with that timer now beginning to tick, we're going to call it here for tonight. And next week, we will actually make a decision, right, fellas?
Definitely.
Yes.
Right? Right, you
We'll
four?
set a poll.
Right.
Hey,
We'll
Right.
set a
right.
poll, and from those 4 decisions,
everyone's gonna
We'll
vote for
figure
one
out what
different
Yeah,
person.
we all vote for one.
We're all going to kill Syl.
No,
Yes,
let's all kill
actually,
Antoine
that
instead.
sounds like the
It'd be funnier.
easiest one.
Okay. We're going to
He
call it here.
historically does nutty damage. Just an FYI.
Yeah, he'll fuck your day. I'll kill you all as Syl. I don't care. PvP's enabled. Thank you all so much for joining me. Tomorrow we have the Cavemen Boys, who are on the reverse end of the timeline at the very beginning. So if you want, you know, not secrets, but concepts, be on the lookout for that alert. And John is working on a massive ass lore / game mechanic document for the next project that he's planning in 2023.
Yeah.
And I am
Digimon, let's go.
fuck no. So if you're interested in that, reach out. I'm looking for second opinions. I'm probably not going to take any active players because there's a lot of deep lore in it, which I don't want to give while you guys are so good at earning it. Ah, you're great. Okay. Any shout outs
Rest in
you guys
peace,
want to
Steve
make?
Wellington. Rest in peace. On the
Ah.
arms
Is
of
an
an
angel. There we go. Let's get
no
some
shout.
sad. No shout outs.
Shout out to my therapist. Always do me justice.
Shit.
John's my therapist,
True.
but I never
Yeah,
pay him.
shout out to
well,
John
no, that's
for being the
not true.
DM.
I
You
do.
pay him in time.
I pay him $2.50 every month.
The worst. This is the worst trade deals in
most-
the history
The
of
most
trade
underpaid
deals.
therapist.
Just imagine if you get on Roll20, there are people like $10 a session. I'm like $2.50 for 4.
A month.
Oh, stonks.
Fucking holy shit.
And I get to spam my soundboard and annoy him every day.
True.
That's the fun part.
Calling me on Tuesday when I'm playing Battle Brothers.
I told you ahead of time.
True. Alright, guys. If nothing else, we'll be seeing ya. Don't die. Just don't fucking die. Like beef. Fucking loser.